Hi, it's Kim from Expressions of the Universe with your February horoscope stars and cards for all zodiac signs and the forecast for February. We are coming upon a full snow moon in Leo, and we'll be pulling cards for all zodiac signs and doing your horoscope. The card of the time period and the crystal of the time period. Because time has really been very scarce for me now that I work back in my office and not so much from home. I lose a lot of time where I might have recorded this during my lunch hour. I come home on my lunch hour to leave my dog out, so I don't have that time. And then, of course, the travel time and having to get up earlier. And so I lose a lot of time and been busy. So we have the full snow moon in Leo, and it's happening on Sunday, February 5th, here on the East Coast of the United States anyway. Adjust for your time zone. I think it comes in at like 1:28, 1:29 p.m. in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. I was getting conflicting information, and it was showing up as 16 degrees, 41 minutes, or 16 degrees, 40 minutes, conflicting info. Even my software was a little bit off on it. So the crystal that I have picked is calcite, specifically, I think yellow calcite, and it talks about spontaneity. And we are coming into that energy for sure. So I have some yellow calcite here. I will post a channel message with the astrology and information on this on Facebook and Instagram sometime during the first week of February. Well, or maybe it's the second week of February by the time you see it. So check there. And that's a really great empowering stone. Not only it brings out creativity, but it also helps, I feel, to ground so that you can bring out your creativity. With Jupiter moving into Aries, there's more of that energy, and we are moving towards Aries season, which will definitely bring that out. Now, the card that I chose for this full moon, which I really feel goes with the horoscope for Leo as well, it was Root Girl, and this says the disowned self. But what it really talks about is having to root down so deep into the earth so that we can really look at ourselves. So this is not only a card for the collective, but this will also be the card for Leo. Maybe I'll give Leo a second card on the random pick. The deck that I'll be using for the Taroscopes is Colette Baron Reed's The Shamanic Dream Oracle, or the Shaman's Dream Oracle. So those are the cards that I'm using this week. I'm going to show you the chart. Anybody else out there freezing? It's getting a little warmer here outside of Philadelphia, but some of my friends in Canada were showing me negative 31, 35 degrees with a real feel like up to negative 85 degrees over the past couple of days. It got down last night to -3 here with a real feel of -17. And I believe it's supposed to go up to 27 today. It will be 50 tomorrow, and by Wednesday it'll be in the 60s. So I'm not complaining. We haven't had any snow here yet this winter where I live, so I'm thrilled about that. But I'm not going out. The horoscopes that I wrote and printed. Let me share my screen just so I could show you. the cards. All right. And now do I close that? All right. Let me move this. I don't know how you see this, but we have the full snow moon in Leo. And I wrote down the February highlights. This. And the control panel is blocking some of the stuff I could see. So here are the February highlights. You can pause and take a screenshot of this. This is what's going on. I'm just going to do a quick run through. By the time you see it, we've already been through the first few days. February 3rd, the sun squares Uranus. That was supposed to be pretty tense or unexpected things happening. Sun in Aquarius squaring Uranus in Taurus. And with me being a Taurus rising, nothing unusual really happened for me. But, you know, the energy carries for a while, so we'll see. February 5th, the full snow moon in Leo. There's the info that I have. I wrote 16 degrees, 40 to 41 seconds. And, oh, I have 1:29 p.m. here, but I also saw it somewhere else at 1:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, adjust for your time zone. February 11th, Mercury is already starting to move pretty quickly, going from Capricorn into Aquarius. I posted here on February 13th, the fourth quarter moon, and it says Scorpio to Pisces because that's how long it takes to get through that fourth quarter. That last quarter moon is about completion and realignment, but I felt like it was also about our intuition and following our gut instincts, wrapping things up, realigning with your own spirit. Because we are going to be coming into such a huge, big shift and new phase as soon as March hits. That's why I'm posting also here a March preview, because everybody's been talking about this for years. I have been looking at it. It gave me so much anxiety, but I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm ready for this shift. Shifts are not comfortable. I'll tell you that right now. February 14th, Valentine's Day. Whether you share that with someone or not, you could still love yourself, love others, be kind. February 18th, my baby girl's birthday. She's an Aquarian, but the sun will be entering Pisces, 5:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're coming into Pisces season very soon. February 20th, new moon in Pisces. And that new moon happens very quickly, right after the sun moves in. So it's only at 1 degree, 22 minutes. Same day, only 50 minutes later, Venus will move into Aries. And things are going to get hot, 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 passionate. And it could be, you know, passionate love-wise, or it could even be creative passion. It could be anger passion, people standing up for themselves, protests. You know, we're coming into that for sure. February 21st, Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday. And then that's followed by, I don't have it here, Ash Wednesday for those who celebrate the following day. And then the March preview, it's huge. March is huge, huge, huge. Mercury moves into Pisces, and then Aries, like boom, boom. So, I mean, Mercury is moving so fast at this point that mentally we could all be on overload, but I was picking that up for the horoscopes. Saturn, this is huge. Saturn spends 2.5 years plus in a sign. It's moving into Pisces from Aquarius. So this is going to be a huge shift in energy. We could already start to feel it. Another gigantic shift. Pluto moving into Aquarius. Now, Pluto's going to retrograde back and forth, I believe 4 or 5 times, back into Capricorn, into Aquarius, back and forth, but it's taking its first, dipping its toe into Aquarius. When I'll have to talk more on that in maybe the next video, because when I look back in history, these Pluto in Aquarius is usually really disruptive in a lot of ways, but brings huge awakenings and huge advances in technology, medical and otherwise. So, you know, just like everything, there's, you know, the good sides and the bad sides, but more on that another time. Mars, finally, after 8 months, will be moving out of Gemini into Cancer. And Mars, I hate to say it, Mars doesn't like being in Cancer because it has no emotional grounding. And so it takes on the flavor of the moon, and the moon changes signs every 2 to 2.5 days. So we could be emotionally up and down until it moves into Leo. And then Mars loves being in Leo. And you know what, I don't have my calendar here to see, but Mars will be picking up speed. It will probably only spend, I think, 4 or 5 weeks, maybe 6 in Cancer, and then it's out of there and into Leo. Venus moving into her home sign of Taurus. That is going to be absolutely beautiful energy. It could lighten the blow with the other energies. We'll have a full moon in Virgo, a new moon in Aries, and then of course the spring and autumnal equinoxes, depending on what part of the world you're in. So huge, 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 huge energies coming up, right? Let's move on to this full moon in Leo chart. I have that symbolized here by the lions. Now, I pointed out here, here's where the moon is at 16 degrees of Leo down in the 2nd house. The sun is opposite of the moon. That's how you get a full moon. When it's a new moon, the sun and moon are conjunct or next to each other. So that's up in Aquarius. Right there, there's tension. So the red lines indicate challenges and tension. So whenever we have a full moon, there's always tension of opposites. But it's generally good tension because you're clearing out what no longer serves and bringing in new energy. The other focus, I drew out these lines. The moon and the sun are both making a square to Uranus, and on a wide orb, the north node, and also the south node down here in the 5th house. This is disruptive and could be surprising. Changes coming. That's part of what started to come in around February 3rd, the sun squaring Uranus. It was exact on February 3rd. It's separating now, but, you know, we're not out of the woods. Expect the unexpected. Now, what I found interesting, so I am a Leo moon, and you want to look in your own chart and see where Leo is, or look and see where, if you have anything at 16 degrees, because that will definitely have a huge effect on you. Now, from my perspective here in Philadelphia, this full moon is in the 2nd house in Leo, but I have my chart up here. I have moon in Leo at 14 degrees. So I'm pretty close to this full moon. It's, you know, it's going to pass right over my moon before it becomes completely full, but that's only a few hours of difference. But I have my moon in the 4th house. So what does that mean if you're looking to interpret for your own chart? Well, I'm going to definitely pull in for the collective from here, you know, East Coast of United States through almost most of the United States. West Coast, it could possibly be in the 3rd house. So, and then if you are in Europe, UK, it may be in the 1st house. So that'll be the self. The 2nd house, it's about values, self-worth, our money, how we feel about things. It's about the material things we own or we don't own. And with my chart being the 4th house, that's about family, ancestors, my actual home. And so interesting because I just put out a boatload of money on plumbing. That's why I'm so late doing this, because I've had contractors working on my plumbing. Almost all but one faucet in my entire house has been leaking for quite some time. And I had 2 busted sinks. They're still not finished. They have to come back. I have some fixtures on back order, but so yeah, the money thing of the 2nd house and then my moon being in the 4th house, I'm combining that. So for your own chart, you're going to pull in value, self-worth things, money, and then wherever it shows up in your chart. Now you can look up astrological wheel house meanings. I've posted this in so many videos before, what each house means, but real quick, I guess I'll do it while I do the horoscopes. I'll go around the wheel. Well, 1st house is the self. I just told you 2nd house. 3rd house, siblings, cousins, you know, kind of, you know, that type of family, your neighbors, your neighborhood, your car, things like that. Electronics also. Family home is the 4th house. Ancestors, your actual home. It's also known as the end of the matter. 5th house is romance, children, joy, creativity. 6th house, daily routine, work, health, and our small pets. 7th house, all of our relationships are here. 8th house, the house of death, but it's also marriage, contracts, commitments, inheritances, secrets, sex, intimacy. There's a lot of different things for each house. 9th house, learning, expansion, religion, spirituality, things overseas, foreigners, travel. 10th house is typically our career and what we're known for in the outer world. 11th house, dreams, hopes, and wishes, and our collective of friends or the collective of humanity. The 12th house, this is our self-undoing. It's where we sacrifice, it's imprisonment, it's hospitalization. Also, 12th house is past life, as is 9th. So this would be most recent. 12th house is most recent past life. 9th is your theme of past lives. And 5th house is typically future, mother and father. 4th house, 10th house, 10th house, 4th house. Big arguments over what it is, 10th house or 4th house. Big arguments. I'll have to have a whole entire discussion sometime about that. I feel like it's interchangeable. I know a lot of astrologers that say, no, it is not interchangeable. 4th house is the father, 10th house is the mother. And I feel like it's the other way around a lot of times, but we can argue about that another time. All right. So with that being said, let me stop sharing and get into your stars and cards. I just got to write a couple of things down that I just thought of. Sorry, dead air, and that's never good, right? Because I typed out one-line horoscopes, and then I'm going to do your cards. I have to shuffle them. I suppose I will start with I'll start with I'm going to actually start with Leo because the full moon is in Leo, and then I'm going to work my way around from there. So Leo, I talked about Root Girl. The horoscope, let me cut these. Your horoscope that I wrote, it's your full moon. Congratulations. This is about examining yourself, taking a really good look, becoming very self-aware so that you can gain a new perspective on yourself. And that's really what this Root Girl is about, because she digs herself down into the earth because she doesn't like to look at her faults. And so this is about accepting of yourself so that you can accept and perceive others in the outer world in a better light. Because when we're judging other people, it's really an inner reflection of ourselves. But I'm going to pull another card for the Leo. And interesting, it's coming up Lost Compass. So this is saying, like, you really need to do some deep inner soul searching so that you can find your way, so that you could find where does true north point for you, is what I'm hearing. Getting back to integrity also. So it's really about honesty, being honest with yourself, and not judging, not spending a ton of time. Look at this friggin' cough, so staticky from how cold it's been. Not judging yourself, because if you're judging others, it means you're judging yourself. You don't want to dwell there. Take a good look, become more self-aware so that you can change your perception and find your true north as well. And the second house, it is about self-worth. So self-worth issues with the Leos, which also boils down to what you have materially. I'm not saying like that's not about being materialistic, but it's about an abundance, a joy, and an abundance thing. Because when we are not feeling good about ourselves or having a lack of self-worth, then of course we're pushing abundance away from us. Also taking a look at, on that same token, morals and values, and where are you putting your values, in material things or immaterial things. And that is a message for the entire collective for this full moon. All right, Virgo. So we're going to be talking about possibly siblings, your neighbors, your neighborhood. Could you be moving? Could you be shifting? Automobiles, your cell phones, your computers, your technology, short trips, doing some little short trips. Virgos will be evaluating core values and be honest. It's about being honest where things are out of alignment for the Virgos. And your card is gathering around the power of the community, which is perfect for what I was picking up about your neighborhood and your immediate surroundings, places that you would go to day, most likely, or within a short trip. So But this is maybe getting more acquainted with your community, getting more involved in your community, Virgo, getting out there and starting to plant some seeds and meet some new people. I love that. Libras, this is about home, family, ancestors, could be mother, father energy, the end of a matter, something coming to an end. So for Libras, big social opportunity this month that could open up new doors for you. You could be meeting people locally, being introduced to the right people at the right time. And you have Spirit of the River, movement towards adventure. I love that. So it just really, for the Libras, felt like new beginning energy really pouring through. And I love that for all of my Libra friends. Okay. We have Scorpio. So Scorpio, more creativity, possible romance, involvement with children, taking a bet, like winning on a bet. I'm not telling you to gamble. So for Scorpios, what's opening up for you, it's surface level connections and communications. Now, I have to remind you, it's surface level. Scorpios, I feel, have this desire for some deep, connected, intellectual conversations. Like you're ready for it, and it's not happening yet. So I don't want you to be disappointed if you do meet somebody and you spark up some commonalities and have conversation. That's about where it's going to stay. That's my prediction anyway. But it's opening up doors for like something newer to be coming. You have skywriting, the fates. The fates are coming in. Look for the signs. The writing is on the wall, I hear. Possibly one of these new connections will lead you to something fateful, which could be really beautiful. Pay attention to the signs and the symbols that are coming through. Sagittarians, it's about your daily routine. It's about work, also about health, your pets, all that mundane stuff. And for Sag, what I have here is teamwork makes the dream work. Get out of your own way and collaborate. And this says, lost in space, needing direction. There you go. So I feel as though if you can team up with someone in the workplace or, like in your daily routine and all the different things that you have to do, they'll help to direct you. But Sagittarians may be feeling like you want to do whatever it is on your own, and you really need to do the collaboration. All right, Capricorns. So this is interesting. Capricorns, part of it is about, your daily routine, but it's really about your relationships again. And I know I've brought this up for Capricorns. This is all of your relations. And what I had written down here is, where are you spending your energy? Take a good look at everything in your life, and it's time to prioritize. And I almost feel, oh, spitting. I almost, that's because I'm passionate about this. I almost feel like I brought this up to Capricorns before, maybe several months ago. I'm not sure, but that's what the astrology is showing again. Capricorns, Pluto is getting ready to move into Aquarius. So you really do need to wrap some things up, and time is of the essence. But Pluto will move back into Capricorn, so that anything that you forgot or procrastinated on, you'll be able to handle, but it's just not going to be so pleasant. So best to get it done now before some harder lessons come into play, because you didn't take care of it now. if you know what I mean. Okay. This just resonates with what I said. The Horseman is your card, and it says this is a herald for change. There's freedom indicated here. There is movement indicated here. There is power, and there's also intuition indicated in that card. Aquarius. Well, Aquarius. So we know, looking at the chart that I had up, that Aquarius, the sun, is in the 8th house. And if you remember what I said a few minutes ago, it is the house of death and transformation and endings. It's marriages, inheritances. And I'm thinking about my kid. I better not be dying. LOL. And it's secrets, it's intimacy. It is underground work, research. There's so many things covered. It's also other people's money, and it's bills, you know, the bills that we don't want to pay, but it involves other people's money and loans. So Aquarius, supercharged is what I wrote. Charged mentally, physically, and inspirationally to take care of all those things in the 8th house. This is time for a big yes for the Aquarians. And this is such an Aquarian card. It is mindful, and it says group think, you know, because Aquarius, even though they really are for themselves, they are also for the greater good, the greater humanity. And we are coming into that energy. You'll see, it's like we're going to have to figure out, how do I keep my sovereignty and also work with the collective and humanity? But mindful, full mind, but also being mindful, being selective of what you dwell on, what you work on, the myriad of ideas that are coming through. There's just so much richness. This card really symbolizes what I had written down earlier about being supercharged physically, mentally, inspirationally for the Aquarians. Pisces. So this is about expansion, tapping into foreign things, learning something new, spirituality, religion, travel. This says this is a time to allow your creativity to shine. This says, I say, because I wrote these, be inspired and allow it to flow, Pisces. And this says, the lay of the land, ancestral wisdom. So, doesn't go like the other cards have, the lay of the land, but it is the color of creativity. This is saying, you know, you methodically need to set this up. Creative ideas will be coming to you. Write them down, maybe do a little research, explore, seek the lay of the land. You may need to travel in order for your creative juices to open up and flow. But I kind of like that. It's like new horizons for the Pisces. Aries. Aries, it's very career oriented, very out in the world. And I wrote full steam ahead, but be careful about taking on too much, because you could burn out. All of us can. We're coming into this. We are in this very stimulating time. It's easy to try and pick up where we left off when things slowed down and try and get them all done now. We will be very prone to burnout within the next few weeks, but full steam ahead, Aries, with discretion of not burning out. And I have for you, now, this kind of doesn't feel like it goes either. It's Sky Dancers, and it talks about surrender. Maybe new opportunities are coming for the Aries, and the surrender is to allow it instead of push against the grain and feel the aggravation of maybe things aren't happening as fast enough for you. I feel as though it's the spark of something new, but you've been trying this one thing for so long and it's not working. Surrender and allow something new to come to you, Aries. Taurus. Taurus, this is about the collective, but it's also dreams, hopes, and wishes. But it's about shock and awe, expecting the unexpected, doing something different. And you have the hollowed bone, teachability. And so this is really interesting for the Taurus. When I think about expecting the unexpected and something shocking, shock and awe, because the hollow bone says, although a Taurus is so set in their ways, often stubborn, not liking change, being a hollow bone is about opening up and allowing yourself to be filled with new things, new information, allowing yourself to learn and be teachable, to bring in new information, new values, new perceptions. So that's maybe where everything is changing. And I love that. It's just really a reminder to say, don't be so stubborn. Allow some changes to come in, because we know that although we'll fight against change, once they happen and integrate, then it's okay, right? And I think, I didn't do Cancer. So Gemini, this is about a little bit of self-sacrifice, doing the hermit. I am a Gemini sun, but it's practical and methodical thinking and planning being the key. Be very careful, Geminis, of mental overload, overthinking, overanalysis, paralysis, like thinking, just being so up here that nothing is getting done. So it will be really important to make lists, to-do lists, check things off, keeping calendars, keeping journals, be very practical and methodical, Gemini, or you will just maybe lose it. This says jeweled web of connectivity. And I love this because this really does talk about that overloaded mind that Geminis often have. But the jeweled web is about being practical and methodical mentally and not overthinking, just focusing on those little jewels, the important things, and all the minutia doesn't matter. Only focus on the jewels, Gemini. And last but not least, we have Cancer in the first house of the self. When I was picking up on the Cancers, I felt a lot of overwhelm. That would be mentally, also like anxiety physically. And so what I had picked up on, I believe it spoke about being physically productive in order to burn off that energy, and productive in mundane tasks like doing the dishes, scrubbing the floors, vacuuming, like those tasks that they're mundane, but they clear your mind. They clear your thought, and the physicality of it will help to also help you rest and sleep better at night. I wrote down, burn off the extra energy and thoughts with productive projects. And for the Cancers, you have Sky Bridge, possibility for union. Ooh, now, Sky Bridge, this often speaks about a spiritual union in shamanism, but maybe those single Cancers, there could be somebody in spirit sending the single Cancer, somebody. ability for union. I just feel, you know, you see the two pillars. This is the coming together of something too. Maybe you're overthinking and you're worrying, whatever. When you are just focusing on mundane tasks, just burning off that energy and those thoughts, I feel as though the Cancers could align with a new opportunity, a new friend. And it's definitely spiritually guided from the heavens. All right, that is what I have for you for this full moon in Leo. And I'm going to wrap it up. I don't have a whole lot else to say. Happy full moon blessings. Oh, and of course, we're wearing moonstone. I have my moonstone. This is all different types of moonstone that I have here. And I always have moonstone with me. And I wear it on my left side because that is the feminine side of bringing that energy out. Our masculine fire side or sun, so this is our moon, is the right hand side. And I think this could be flipped. I don't know. So let me end this on a beautiful note. I'll be back hopefully next week. If not, I'll be back before the new moon in Pisces on February 20th, if time allows, and get that out. And then I'll have more cards for you. And hopefully I'll have more info for you on what's coming in March. So thank you for watching. Peace and blessings. Bye.